If you want to manufacture an electric vehicle in China, the Chinese government will be very supportive. You will receive tax exemptions, subsidies, easy loans, and many other benefits. The customers who purchase your car are also exempt from vehicle purchase tax, so you will likely sell more than you would in other circumstances. Over the last 15 years, the Chinese government has provided around $231 billion in subsidies to the EV sector. These subsidies are not only for state-owned companies. Privately owned or foreign companies receive the same benefits. BYD and Tesla, the world's largest EV manufacturing companies, got the largest share of the pie. China also has an EV-friendly environment with an abundant supply of lithium, which is crucial for EV batteries. China controls around 80% of the EV battery supply chain. These factors are enough to attract any investor. For 3 decades, the Chinese government has followed one policy: if you want to sell cars in China, you must build a local factory and form a partnership with a local company. This strategy worked, and today, China is the world's biggest exporter of cars, particularly EVs. Around 15 years ago, the Detroit Auto Show didn't showcase high-quality Chinese vehicles, but if you visited the Beijing Auto Show in 2024, you would likely find some of the best cars and EVs in the world. China produced 6 million EVs in 2023, accounting for 58% of global production. BYD has surpassed Tesla in manufacturing and selling the most cars. One manufacturer, Xiaomi, has the most sophisticated automated plants in the world, capable of building a car every 76 seconds. China can produce more than its domestic needs, so it's exploring options in other countries. It aims to dominate the global auto industry and has already become the world's largest auto exporter. When these subsidized and cheap EVs reach the European market, local manufacturers struggle to compete. The EU has initiated a trade war against China in response, raising tariffs on Chinese EVs. Consumers pay 37% more for Chinese EVs compared to others. Consequently, China filed a complaint against the EU at the World Trade Organization. The EU claims that China's subsidies give its companies an unfair advantage and that they are dumping cheap EVs in the European market, creating an uneven playing field. Like Europe, America is also concerned about China's rising EV market, fearing it will eliminate local automakers. Elon Musk, who has criticized tariffs on Chinese EVs, acknowledged that Chinese EV makers will demolish most competitors without trade barriers. During his presidency, Donald Trump raised tariffs on Chinese EVs. Biden has followed the same path, adding 100% duties on Chinese-made EVs and other essential items for batteries in May this year.
A 100% tariff on electric vehicles made in China. We're not going to let China flood our market, making it impossible for American auto manufacturers to compete fairly. Folks, look, I'm determined that the future of electric vehicles will be made in America by union workers, period.
As a result, the price of Chinese EVs has risen drastically. For instance, the cheapest model from BYD, the Seagull, sells for around $9,700 in China, but due to the new tariffs, it costs American consumers $19,600. Due to efforts by the Biden administration, the American manufacturing sector saw a record boom during his presidency and domestic EV sales rose sharply. However, after an early rise, their market share stagnated this year in the United States. Due to low sales, companies like GM, Ford, and Tesla have scaled back their manufacturing plans. Both Democratic and Republican presidential candidates are discussing how they can effectively counter Chinese EVs by raising tariffs on them.
And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States. We have long been taken advantage of by other countries.
However, experts believe that while these tactics may delay the flood of Chinese EVs into America, they can't halt them permanently in a free market. To circumvent these rising tariffs and explore other options, many Chinese automakers have expanded their businesses to countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Mexico. BYD has shifted its focus towards Southeast Asia and Latin American markets. Last month, it opened its first factory outside of China, in Thailand. The company is known for its affordable cars, with 9 of its vehicles priced lower than Tesla's cheapest model. Today, it is launching 3 of its models in the South Asian country of Pakistan. It also plans to build a manufacturing plant in Pakistan's port city of Karachi. Though Donald Trump has threatened to raise tariffs by 100% on Chinese EVs coming from Mexico, and Western policymakers consider it a security risk to give China immense power in this crucial, futuristic technology, it may not be feasible to close its borders to save a struggling local industry. For decades, Western economists have emphasized that the customer is always right and that a free market is essential for growth, but the US has offered its own industries protection whilst looking for free trade elsewhere. With billionaires like Elon Musk cozying up to presidential candidate Donald Trump, it seems as though the American EV markets are already beginning to lobby for continued protection ahead of the 2024 elections.